Shabbat Shalom, everyone. This Shabbos is a very special Shabbos, Shabbos HaGadol. The Shabbos which we prepare for the holiday of miracles, the holiday of freedom, the holiday in which we break open bring out our true freedom. And it's also the Shabbos in which we receive the final and greatest miracle of the killing of the firstborn son, which ultimately heralded the Jewish people to exit Egypt, the begging of the Egyptians to allow the Jews to leave from Paro. It happens on this Shabbos, and that's why it's called the Shabbat Hagadol, the Shabbat of the Great Shabbos. You know, we say on the every single holiday of Purim and on Hanukkah, we make a blessing. She'asa nisim la'avoteinu bayam mahem bizman hazeh, who made incredible miracles for us in those days and in these days. And we don't see the open miracles of the killing of the firstborn sons. We don't see the open miracles of blood, even though there was a red beach in Iran. But we did see an incredible miracle this week, and we saw an open miracle this week. And we have to thank Hashem and recognize the incredible miracle which we had. The reality is that it would have been a tremendous military success if we blocked 80% of those rockets that Iran sent in. And you saw the size. One was 33 meters. One was 11 meters. It was 33 feet long. It was 450 kilograms of explosives. If just one of those missiles would have came through and would have came into any populated area which they were sent directly into populations, we could have had tremendous tragedy if just one. And that would have been an incredible miracle on its own. Now, 330 were blocked and one came through. If 10% or even 20% would be something that no military has ever seen. The largest block of any missiles and drones was not even 100. This was 331. Every single one was taken down or fell outside of populated areas. And so we have to thank Hashem for the incredible miracles. We go into this Seder this year, and the Passover Seder has a different meaning than any other year. We're going to say V'hisha Amda La V'seinu, and then V'hisha Amda, every single year the sum comes to Shlai Echa Bavad Ella L'Chad L'Seinu, that we come every single year to every single generation. There's someone that stands up to try to kill us, and Hashem stops them. And that's the reality of the Jewish story. We're going to sit down with our families and tell them the Jewish story. And we still have hostages stuck behind the Iron Curtain of Gaza, who are still, unfortunately, slaves. We have to realize the incredible freedom that Hashem gave us. You celebrate the freedom of Passover, which is all about breaking our boundaries, going beyond ourselves, going outside of our nature. And this is something that the Jewish people in Israel have done at a tremendous level. When we just talking about this past Shabbos, when we came to Israel, you can't even buy tefillin because every single sofer was out tefillin, because every single Jew wants to start putting on tefillin. When we giving out tzitzis, soldiers that never were religious in their life, all of a sudden start to put on tzitzis and start to commit to doing mitzvahs, start to doing things which are outside of the natural order, because when we have to see miracles and we want the outside of the natural order, we have to do something that goes outside of our boundaries. The holiday of Passover tells us to break loose, break outside of ourselves. Don't make our own prisons in our head to decide this is the type of Jew we are. This is the type of limitation we created. This is how I was brought up. So that's how I have to be for the rest of my life. We can go beyond ourselves. We can go searching. We're seeing incredible open miracles. We're seeing on the flip side, the world. God said the world was created zel umazem. We live in a parallel universe, and we see such chaos. We see such ridiculousness when it comes to the Olam HaSheker, the world of lies. Ceasefire now, protesters a whole day when Israel has agreed to a ceasefire 7 times. The only one who won't accept a ceasefire is Hamas, but nevertheless they're still walking around, ceasefire now. And Hezbollah is shooting at Israel. And Iran is shooting at Israel, and then people are supporting Iran. It's insanity. And there's some smart people out there, and they're still listening to insanity, and they walk around from the river to the sea, and no idea what they're talking about. And so we live in a world that's so upside down. The way to contrast it is to break out. That's the holiday of Pesach. Break out. Don't live within the confines of the world. Break out. Do something that's outside of yourself. And then what do we do? As we go into the Seder, and we're going to talk about slavery, that we have to remember, the whole dar v'dar, every single generation that we were slaves. We have to think about that. We don't have to talk about slavery. We have to talk about our own selves, being a slave to ourselves, being a slave to our society, being a slave to the world that tells us this is how we have to be. This is how Israel has to be. This is how a Jew has to be. While they're shooting at us. We saw something this week. Everyone changed sides in one moment. We went from being the oppressor to being the victim in one moment. Why? What changed? Because when Jews get shot at, everyone likes it. When Jews shoot back, all of a sudden, we can't shoot. We have to hold restraint. Can't defend ourselves as Jewish people. It's a crazy world we live in, but that's why we need the holiday of Pesach. The holiday of Pesach comes to remind us we have to break out. We have to go beyond ourselves. We have to go do something that's outside of ourselves. Be proud to be a Jew and do an actual action. Don't get stuck in our box. Don't get stuck to the way that the society tells us we have to be, or people tell us we have to be, or community tells us we have to be. We have to go beyond ourselves. We have to go and live outside of ourselves. That's how we become truly free. Take away those brackets, those barriers, and do something that's outside your nature. Do something spiritually outside your nature, and for sure, because of that, God will give us the ultimate freedom, a time of peace and security in the land of Israel. Our slaves will be returned from us and from the hostages in Gaza, and hopefully we'll have a time where we have to see open miracles, the coming of Mashiach. And it says, just as I have taken you out of Egypt, so may I show you wonders. In Nisan we were redeemed, and God willing, in Nisan we'll have the ultimate redemption very soon. Shabbat Shalom, everyone, and see you in Shul tomorrow.